Hello, it is Lord Haywire. I'm streaming some 2D4X today, like I do most weekends, and I say the same thing every time I stream. Gets old, man. Anyways, we're working on. So if we go to war currently, this is a 2D4X game, so it's a strategy game I'm working on. It's gonna take place in North America. I haven't done this part of the intro in a long time. Post-apocalyptic. Right now, we have Oregon in here and a little tiny bit of Washington. But we are going to do all of North America at some point. But just for testing, we don't need all of North America. So I am not using all of North America. I've got all sorts of issues over here. There we go. So right now we are testing war. We're actually doing saving, and I decided to work on a little bit of this little tiny bit of diplomacy, and then it turned into a whole rework of war. And yesterday we fixed, I think, most of the bugs and issues, but one of the, except for the capturing of a county isn't working correctly. So we need to win some wars here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's. Oh, this person kind of sucks. Let's hire some subordinates. And well, we don't even need to look at this. But what's going to happen is, when we take this, we're not actually getting the capturing of the county thing. And I noticed this was commented out the other day. And I'm assuming I commented it out because it was causing other issues for testing. I think that's where we were yesterday. I can't quite remember. I'm almost positive. Anyways, so check if Army flees. There was another one that was commented out somewhere. I guess it's not in battle control though. So let's look at this. Maybe it was in token movement. There was some. I think it was. We can look for actually. Fleas. There was 2 of them. Check if Army flees. That's in battle control. If both have low morale, that's not what we want. I guess I should have done this before I started. Here's a battle. Army morale flees. Oh no, we check if Army. That's also in the battle. There was also a capture county. The county dictator does that, but see, this isn't commented out. I was looking for something that was commented out last time, and I was wondering why. Army county capture. Here it is. Oh, no, it wasn't commented out. It just wasn't used. And so I was wondering why. There was that one, and then there was another one. What is this in battle? Maybe I was moving it over here, and then check if Army flees is the other one. So it wasn't commented out, it just wasn't used. So what does this one do? Because we have that other one. Was I moving this one? Sometimes I do that as I move shit around. Phrase lost battle. So this is going to say Army. No, this is going to be the first. So this is the first person in the Army. It's going to say lost the battle. And then Army flees, but it's not used anywhere. Hero equals. I wonder why we didn't just put hero down here. Why wouldn't we put hero down here? Check if Army flees. So then there was that other check if Army flees. Whoops. If Army. It was here. We can do this differently. We can copy this and we can go. No. This other one is in the battle control. And look at this one. Both have low morale, so only the attacker flees. Maybe we change this later. Attacker has low morale. Defender has low morale. So I think what we got to do is go into this battle. Let's cut this, because there's no reason to have that there. It looks like it's all in the battle control. And then let's put this down here so we can compare what we were doing. So we get the full name of the main hero, and it says they lost the battle. And we did a little bit to this yesterday, I think. So if this get average army morale, defending army is less than or equal to, and this is in what? Where do we check this? No, it says 2. This is in continue battle check. So it checks if the army is destroyed, and we return out of here. And then we check if an army flees. So I think what we're going to want to do, because if it's destroyed too, the same thing is going to happen, is we probably want to return a bool. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. So we have army flees right there. Look, it's, well, because this was in battle. And I just moved it. So wait, I had 2 things. No, this is army flees, and this is check. All right, we can get rid of this one. It's basically the same, except different. Let's see here. I didn't check if I was actually streaming. I like to double check everything. Also, I've been having some weird thing where my camera was all blurry. I fixed it yesterday just by looking at the properties of the camera. It suddenly just fixed itself. I think it's because when I get up, it tries to focus on me. I should turn off the autofocus or something. Get morale level for fleeing. Oh yeah, we're passing in a hero because that's going to affect things later. Get army. So this is just going to do the defending army. And then we army flees. So if the defending army flees, we need to capture capture county. And we also need to have an event log that the county was captured. So we need those 2 things there. What does this in battle do? So we don't have an in battle after this, or is army flees has in battle buried in it somewhere? It does. Okay. Maybe we can put a check inside in battle. What happens when the army is destroyed? I've already lost where that was. Army destroyed. We have the in battle there. So if there a way, let's see. Is there a way we can check and we can just put this in battle and we can just say like, hey, if this is a, because if the, what are we passing anything into in battle? Check if an army is destroyed. So this is going to be if, all right, so this one is checking if either one of them are destroyed, but then down below it, yeah, I did this yesterday. It checks and it puts the faction name from up here of who was destroyed. This is kind of like a duplicate. There's a better way to do this. There has to be. And we also need to fix the is player for what? Well, we'll fix it later. I thought about it yesterday, but we're gonna want to do it some like a dictionary of players. So we in the battle we print this as loss an army. What happens if there's 2 armies there though? We need to test that. We're gonna turn this person. Oh, but it's army count. Okay, so that is gonna, I think that's gonna work. We probably should test it anyways, but we're not going to. We'll test it later and then deal with the consequences of not testing it now. So if we, in battle, when an army, actually let's look what an army flees, what happens. Are we taking things away? is retreating is true. Their last location, if it equals, they get to a random one. We don't do these bools are strange too. Well, there's gonna have to be a major rewrite at some point. So if the army flees, they're gonna be moving. So we need this capture county here, but I think we can put it in battle. We just need to know if it captures the county or not. So if the army is fleeing, we could check. What did that one thing say? Is fleeing? There's gonna be multiple heroes too. That multiple hero thing is the thing that kind of throws a wrench in some things. Is retreating is true. What are we passing in? This looks like it should be the main, the leader of the army. So is retreating is true. We could check, or we could just put it in where. I wonder what the correct way to do it is. Like, do you want to bury stuff in here, or do you want to have like a list of different methods that it needs to do? Let's put it in as different methods here, where we have this capture county. So that's under the county dictator, I think. Yeah, so then we have capture county. It actually has 4 uses. Okay. 2 uses are out of scope. What does that mean? Okay, so in this one, army, we have capture, army capture county. It's going to end the battle. And then it's going to take the defending army's location and the faction data. And it's passing this in with the defending army? Okay, so it's taking the defending army's location. This is kind of a weird way to do it if we have a battle. So army capture county. Let's close some of this stuff. So the army flees. And we need this army captures county, but we need to adjust how it. There's a better way to do it. Battle. What was that under? That was under battle control? No, it was under the battle, wasn't it? No, that goes, yes. So we already have an in battle in here. So what we would do, do we need to pass in something? No. So what we would do is in army flees, we have an if statement. If what does this thing do? We have a county, we get the population data, army flees. So we're passing in population data, which I assume is the leader. What is going on here? I should have named this, instead of population data, I should have named it what it is. So this is the retreating hero. Oops, go back. Retreating hero. Retreating, is that how you spell that? So then down here, we're passing in, we're getting the county of the retreating hero's last location. We are selected faction data. Selected faction data. Selected. Why selected? Population faction data. Well, these names are strange as fuck. What is this one? we're getting the county. Where are we getting this county thing from? This is the county in the battle. County equals retreating hero's last location. Why are we doing it their last location? So this is saying, man, this is very, very strange. This is some old code that has been, that we probably need to, like, I've renamed stuff and added things, and I've just kind of like slapped this shit in here as we went. And I noticed like that it doesn't retreat sometimes. So I wonder why we did last location. So this probably shouldn't be last location. This should be their county retreating heroes current location, because we haven't set. So if it's -1, so that means that, so if it's -1, that means that it was spawned there, and it doesn't know. That's a way for us to tell that it doesn't know where it went or where it came from. So it doesn't retreat back. So the idea is that it's supposed to retreat back to where they came from if they're retreating. But in this case, he was spawned there. So his last location is going to cause a random neighbor move, which we're just going to assume that that works. So this one, though, we could put in location, their current location. It's a capital L. Current location of the retreating hero. We're in battle. Battle has the location. Is it an ID, though? No, it's just a county data. Why are we doing it that way? So this is if we don't know. Oh, okay. So no. I see what this is. I see what this is. Last location. We're trying to retreat back. So the idea is in this one, we know where he's going to. And then selected faction data. I don't like the word selected because I just came back to it and I have no idea what the fuck I was talking about. So this one, we're taking the county of the last. This is the last location faction data. Last location faction data. So we have the last locations faction data because we're pulling it from this thing right here. And then we have the populations faction data of this guy's faction data. So this guy's faction data, this is the retreating hero. How about we say retreating heroes faction data then? Retreating hero faction data. So we're comparing the last place he was in, and we're comparing the last place he was in and his faction data, and if they are the same, if the faction name is the same, then they start to move back and the battle has ended. Otherwise, he randomly moves to a neighbor location. Okay, so this idea is we're checking to see if he can retreat back to where he came from, but if he can't, didn't I start a summary here? Let's say check if the hero has a last location. If he does, then move check to see if he if it is still controlled by his faction. If not, then randomly move him. There's probably a better way to do this too. Whatever. Okay, so army fleet. So the idea is we might be able to just move this out of here. So it's going to end that battle. Let's go back to where we use this. We have 3 usages. Both have low morale, so only the attacker flees. So the attacker flees. And then this is attacker has low morale, then the attacker flees. We don't want an in, well, we do want an in battle in there, but maybe we pull the in battle out and we put it in here. Because I'm kind of like not liking this burying shit in here. So he'll start the move. Is there a reason not to have this in here? Let's see here. It's only used in 3 places. Sometimes I like to do stuff certain ways, and sometimes I don't. So this is battle location, battle, battle location. Then we end the battle here. This is if they both flee. We just want this whole line. And then here, the attacker has, what the fuck? I'm pushing Control A? No, I have a, I have, okay, that's fine. So then it's going to end the battle. We don't put any, it's kind of interesting, we don't put any stuff. And it's kind of also interesting, we're in battle control and we're getting all of this information. This is not interesting, it's dumb is what it is. Okay, let's look at in battle here. Why is this in here? We remove the battle. Can you remove something from something while you're in that something? And then we have county attacker select token in combat. I don't remember what this shit does. But we can go back up to here and we can just go in battle, can't we? Like, why are we have this whole line of shit where we're in there? Okay, so then defender has low morale. Are we checking? Are we checking? Like, how does the battle know? What goes on in here? I guess in battle is not that battle ending. Okay, so that it just does a little bit of stuff. I keep because of its name, I keep thinking it's like in battle is something big. Event log that the okay. So we also so in this one we capture. So yeah, we do want this all broken down too. So we're gonna need this. Then we're gonna need. All right, a new event log. I had this folder open since last night or since yesterday, and I was like about to close it this morning, and I was like, no, I'm gonna need that later. That's our translation thing. So we need this to say something, but it's another one of those things where actually let's look at all of these event things. Okay, so at the top, the attacking army has lost. Okay, so we need this to only play on. This is gonna put every battle. And yesterday we wrote a little thing. I'm just gonna copy it, and we probably could make it a method because we're using it all over the place. It's right here. So what we could do. Yeah, this needs some shit on it too. Capture county. Capture county. Okay, so this part. I wonder if we should put. No, I was thinking make a method that we pass in the string and it has this whole thing in it because we're using this for both. But we don't defending we'd have to pass in like factions and shit. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT actually. Let's see what ChatGPT says about this shit. Sometimes ChatGPT has good things. I'm always trying to learn new, better ways to do things, you know. I am going to use this all over the place. Is there a better way to do it? The problem. Oh, I don't have I don't have it all in there. The problem is that we would have to pass in the factions. Much cleaner and more reusable way to handle this. The same pattern of check whether a faction is a player, then log an event with a format event will appear all over your code base. The best practice is the encapsulated helper method. All right, so that's what I was thinking about doing. So we have the log if player. So we see this is, we would have to pass in the battle. Then call it neatly anywhere. Oh, you're saying do it this way. Well, that will, oh no, it won't. It won't do it twice. Faction extension. Add an extension method on faction. An extension. If you like object-oriented readability, you can make it, what the fuck are you talking about? What does this one say? Small utility class. Call it anywhere. If you like object-oriented readability, you can make it feel natural. So how do we use this? Wait, object-oriented readability. What is, I know this is oriented readability. Yeah, no, it's filled with typos there. In ways that read naturally in terms of objects and their behavior instead of in terms of external functions acting on them. You call a function and pass the object in. Here you're telling some external thing what to do to your faction. Okay, this is procedural. You're describing steps or actions. Object-oriented, I think everyone in chat's always like OOP. And so I guess this is the way, and I actually think this looks better because we can see the faction. We're saying this faction, do this. Here the code reads more naturally like, hey, defenders, log yourself if you're the player. I wonder if there's a way to do this with events. The problem with ChatGPT is if I ask it, is there a way to do this with events? It will be like, yes, and this is the best way to do it. But in reality, it doesn't know what the fuck it's talking about because it might not be the best way to do it. You know what I mean? Like it's just going to tell me it is. In C#, this is usually done with extension methods. They let you add methods to it without modifying it. Now it's part of your object language. This is usually done with extension methods. This lets you add methods to an existing class without modifying it. So here's our static thing. Faction extensions. Would you like me to show you so you can still use? What about with an event? Now, I hope it doesn't. Okay. You can make this even more flexible, more purely object-oriented by using events. So what I'm always trying to do is like basically figure out the next step of what I need to learn. And I used events for a little bit, but I kept running into issues where I never needed them and they caused more issues than they helped with. So I use very few of them now, but there's I still think I need to learn how to use them better. And that's part of the problem is that I'm not learning how to use them better, if that makes sense. Right now, your faction doesn't notify anyone something happens. You have to manually check and call whenever you think something relevant occurs. With an event, the faction can instead raise a signal, say something like, hey, I lost an army. Then other parts of your game, like your event log, can subscribe to the event and react automatically. Add an event to your faction class. So here's our faction class. And this is going to be an event, an action, which we pass in this stuff? Really? Okay. On faction event. So then we invoke it with that little thing. Man, do not forget to put that little question mark right there. That was one of my first event issues. When I didn't know that that was and that little question mark was important. It is very important. Um, I mean, I guess it's not a little question mark, it's a normal size. This defines a custom event name on a faction event. Whenever something happens, the faction raises, fires it. Subscribe the logger. I feel like we would be subscribing to all sorts of shit. Maybe we should do it this way just to figure it out. Define the handler. Now you never have to write those checks again. Which way is better? Fire the event you need. Instead of this, you would do raise event. And the event logger, whatever else is listening, automatically reacts. So I was thinking of doing it where it would it wouldn't, they would raise this event. Who's subscribing to this in this? So I'm trying to think of the future too. So let's say you want to see events from other factions. Or so what like you probably want to know the battles that are going on around you. Maybe this is the better way to do it. Fire the event when you need. Raise events. No more repetitive checks. You centralize logic once your event handler extendable. Other systems can subscribe too. Faction doesn't need to know about event log at all. If you prefer to say closer to the Godot model, you can also use, no, I don't give a shit about that, which integrates better with the engine. Equivalent version using signals instead of plain C# event. Do I want to see that? I don't think I do. I think I'd rather learn the C# part. So let's think about this with events, because maybe we can also like improve my skill level, but also at the same time improve the code. We could also do like a capture county event, because there could be other. So let's say. Okay, so let's think about this. If we have a capture, this is not the thing we were just working on, but let's say there's a capture county event, and the county dictator subscribes to the county capture events, all of the county capture events, because there's going to be other like diplomatic things that are we'd have to copy and paste that capture county thing. All right, I think we're finally getting to a point where events are going to start being much more useful. So let's actually use an event for this thing. I'm backtracking on what I was doing. We're going to do a C# event. So let's do the, it kind of implied something earlier though. You can make this even more flexible. What is the best way? Let's ask that. What is the best way? It's going to give me some bullshit. A large object-heavy net strategy RTS game. People don't understand what I'm talking about when it's not really an RTS game though. They think you're building infantry all the time. And you're sending them into their death over and over again. You want this reusable, clean, scalable. Works well in the Godot scene system. Helper extension. Pros, minimal setup, reads well. Cons, cannot listen automatically. You still have to. So I feel like also when I was doing events, because I have all the different counties, and there's going to be like 500 counties. They're all like, there's going to be 500 things listening. Is that good, bad? C# pros, reusable by the system, not just logging. Keep systems modular and testable. Standard. C# syntax, clean, safe, and high performance. Slightly more setup. Harder to debug than a simple function call. I'm no longer caring that much about editor integration. I wish I could go back and watch my videos, which I absolutely could. Um, I could go back and watch my. Given your use of event, okay, so it's saying event. Let's use an event. So it's interesting. I've never seen this before. It doesn't mean that where the event has these things that it passes in. Um, where'd it go? This. Why would we pass in faction if this is in faction? Declare the event. Modify to trigger it. But we're not passing in the faction. Raise event. I don't like these names, but this. Oh, we are passing it in. This does. So then, what is the on of? Yeah. Where's the define the handler? If this is. I wonder if this is gonna fuck us later when we have the multiple. What we would do, I think, is have the player's name assigned somewhere. So we wouldn't say is player, we would do like a for each loop, and we would say like, is this a player? That would probably be a user name or something, an ID, player ID or something. Not a name, probably a player ID so that they can change their name and it wouldn't have any effect. You know, we can write that right now. Now that I'm thinking about it again, I thought about this yesterday and I was like, should we just write this right now? So what we can do. Oh, and I was saying have the ID related to the list. So the list, the ID would be, you know, 0 would be the host, 1 would be, and so we would just have a list of the players because I'm getting tired of having to go back and fix everything later when I add a new feature. So I'm trying to future-proof. So for this one, we're going to print this log out. But for other ones, we can have it do something completely differently. In fact, we could capture a county. The county dictator could subscribe to this. Huh. Okay. So let's do that. Let's not fuck with this thing yet. I want to, but also I don't want to. All right, so what is the first step of this process? See, this is why I asked GPT stuff, is so that I start trying to think of other things. Declare the event. It's not going to be called on faction event, though. This is going to be, what are we even doing at this point? we are losing a battle. Check if an army is destroyed. Has lost an army. That's a different one. Is that what I was working on? Lost battle is what we want. Look how many times we put this in here. Wait, we have this in here twice. Oh, because I was going to edit this. Okay, so if we have that one event, all right, well, let's before I get thinking about this too much, because sometimes I do that. I'm like, well, we could do this, and this, and then I like do the first part of it, and I'm like, oh, this isn't gonna work. So this lost a battle is the one we're gonna work on because it's used a bunch of times. We need to put the faction in here to this too, because we don't know who the fuck this person is. Okay, so we need an event that fires whenever a battle is lost. Um, and we have it in here 4 times. So let's do that. Let's figure that out. So, oh, do we have it in 5 times? We have it in here 4 times. So check if army flees. We need an event, and they're saying put it in the faction. Why are we putting in the faction? I think I asked them for a different one. What is the thing I asked? Has lost an army. Okay, so that one is the wrong one. I should have done this battle one. What does this one do? So we are passing in different people, different armies. Okay, so we can use the thing, but why are we putting it in faction? Where's our event thing? Get this Ask ChatGPT shit off my face. Add an event to your faction class. Whenever something happens, the faction raises it. Subscribe to logger. So let's do it. This is actually the one. What do I have on my clipboard here? Not that. Let's go back over to where the hell are we? There's a lot of these. Maybe we need to make these all events. This is wrong, though. This needs to have a faction thing in here. Do we have a faction thing in here? Oh, what a pain in my ass. All right, we'll put a faction thing in here. Faction data equals battle location. No, we need this to be dot location. Oh, but we need a faction ID. We know that actually. We have that right here. Okay, so because this one's the attacking army for this one, it's a different faction. And this should be faction data dot faction name. And then we'll space. And then we'll save this. So this is the one that we actually want to change. It's going to see how it's different down here is why. See, this is also why it takes me so long to write anything here. Let me double check something over here. Make sure everything is going correctly. It is. All right. It's actually the one I want to change into a C# event. And then let's see what it says. It's exactly the kind of tight coupling that events are meant to remove. Let's refactor into an event step by step. So we have our faction data. Raise battle lost. Why are you putting raise? Is that what it's where you're raise the event? Okay. On battle lost. That makes sense. Raise battle lost. I think I was calling it fire battle lost on the few that I've done. This event is static because you're fetching the faction by ID rather than a specific instance. It passes along everything you need to build the message later. The faction data, the individual, the reference. Somewhere, oh, we should have the where it's happening to. Somewhere during an installation, for example, when your battle starts. I'm about to sneeze. I guess not. Handle battle lost. So we pass this in, and if we is faction is player, then we print it there. And okay, I see. So since we're passing in this faction thing, it's going to print it or not. Now all the logic lives in one place. You can later add or other listeners like sound and sound. That's a good idea. Replace your old direct call. So this is gonna look almost identical, except we're firing off. Why static? Why this is the best version for your game? Extendable. So I like the extendable thing because I have a feeling that we are gonna want to have sound and all that. Okay, why static? Because the last one wasn't static. Excellent question. This is where we get into the how events live in memory, what makes them static or not. Let's unpack it. Sometimes I really worry that ChatGPT is just hallucinating or some shit. So I'm not learning anything. Or what I'm learning is wrong. Okay, we have the static one. It means the event belongs to the class itself, not to any particular instance. You can raise or subscribe to it from anywhere without having a reference to a faction data object. It acts as a global signal. Why I suggest static in your case? Like, where did it scrape the data to learn this? Like, did it learn it from somebody who's knowledgeable, or a bunch of people who are knowledgeable, or a bunch of fucking morons? You're already called a static factory or lookup. That implies you're probably dealing with data-driven factions, not live node instances. You might have many copies or lookups for the same faction data. To make the event static makes it behave like a global notification for the entire game world. Whenever any faction loses a battle, the event fires once, and the logger can react without worrying about which instance raised it. When you'd not make it, when you'd sorry, I'm stuck on you'd. You'd? 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 I don't think I. You'd? I don't think I've ever seen. You'd? You'd? I don't think I've ever seen. I mean, I've heard people say it. I don't think I've ever seen anyone write it. You'd. When you'd not make it static. If your faction exists as live, unique instances, like if each faction data is loaded once and lives in memory of the single. I think it does. Then you make an instance event. Oh, maybe I don't understand how that works memory-wise. That's going to be a later, I was just saying I don't want to fuck myself later because I've been doing that so much. But this is going to fuck us later. How I don't understand the memory shit. Because it just is. There's going to be something that's hogging up all the memory. But we have so much memory. Is a data source loaded from file or resource? It is at some point. You want a global listener. You fire the event not from the faction object itself. Use an instance if you have one faction data instance per live faction, like a running simulation. You want to attach UI or AI listeners to specific factions. If you tell me how your faction data actually exists at runtime, the resource files loaded in memory, or the unique instances created at game start, I can definitely inform which features set up best. Resource-based or runtime objects per... They are resources loaded into memory. They're unique instances created at game start. They are... this thing helped me create the They are resources loaded into memory, turned into DTOs. No, they are JSON loaded from disk into memory. then converted to DTO, then to resource. They are loaded into memory at game start. Use an instant event, not a static one. Let's break down why. So I've been using static and instant interchangeably pretty much. Why instant events are better for your setup. Since you load each faction data once in a memory, keep it there. Once instance, you already have a persistent in-memory object representing each faction. Each faction is unique. You can subscribe to just that faction's event. Okay, so now we're back to my fear. My fear being is, because at the beginning of the game, you're going to have 500 factions. They're going to quickly be annihilated, but... so you're going to have 500 factions, like 500 subscription to events. Does it matter? Should I not worry about this shit? You can easily fire events from within the instance instead of using a global event. You avoid the pitfalls of glad event accumulation, which causes memory leaks when not unsubscribed properly. So conceptually, you can say each faction data is responsible for raising its own event. Okay. What happens if there's like 500 of them? Factions. Look carefully at what happens when you have hundreds or even thousands of faction data instant with events. It's totally fine. 500 factions with instant event is totally fine. Each event in C# is just a delegate reference, basically a small pointer to a function. Let's qualify what actually each faction data holds an event. Internally, this is just a type of multicast delegate. 8 bytes. When you subscribe once, it stores a reference to the handler. Negligible overhead. But what if you scaled to tens of thousands? We're not going to get to tens of thousands. We might get to a couple of thousand if we do the whole world. We're going to start with North America, though. Event hookup management, keeping track of who subscribes. Then the concern shifts from performance to organization. Memory retention. Unsubscribed events can hold a reference in preventing garbage collection. That's interesting. I'm not going to remember any of this stuff. Debug complexity. It can be hard to trace what fired what. At this point, it's often clear to have a global event bus, a single central dispatcher. I kind of like that idea. Instead of each starting, you would have one centralized place for all events. Then any faction can just do game events, raise. An event log can also subscribe once. This keeps your system live, avoids having 500 separate subscription lists. Rule of thumb. Now, like, see, once again, I'm worried that this thing doesn't know what the fuck it's talking about. Each faction is meaningful. Oh my god, 8 hours almost passed. And unique. It doesn't major powers. You want to attach logic only to specific factions like player. Use global event bus when you have hundreds or thousands of minor entities. We are going to have hundreds. We're not, I don't, maybe thousands eventually. Events describe behaviors of the faction in the world. So I think we're more looking at this here. Your best move right now, giving you a 500 load at start factions, even with a few major events. They're clean, fast, and easy to reason about. If later you notice you're writing 20 different systems in those same events, introducing a light event system bus to consolidate. Hey, Crystal, how's it going? Thank you for the lurk. The lurky lurk. Would you like me to show you how to involve your current instance event setup into a hybrid model where faction raises events locally, but also automatically forces them to a global? That's the sweet spot. So I don't know, like it almost feels like a salesman trying to sell me something, you know, like, and then they're like, and it's a $25 a month subscription fee, you know, for this sweet spot. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't have 500 right now, but there will be. Each with a few major events. You're gonna have like a ton of events if we do it this way. Clean, fast, and easy to reason about. What are those people always talking about the state machines for? What is your state machine? I don't fucking know, man. I gotta restart my music here. I gotta change my music, actually. You guys can't hear it. It was low energy. It was supposed to be high energy music, but it wasn't. Um, raises events low, but also automatically forwards them to a global event. We are going to have a lot of events. We are going to have a lot of events. That's exactly the right moment. Well, we're already we're kind of deep in this because once your game starts producing hundreds of thousands of different events, bad construction, you want centralized, decoupled, and efficient system handle all. All right. The problem with per class events at a large scale. Per class of so there might even be a better way to do this, but ChatGPT is never going to suggest it unless I ask. But I don't know what the best way is. You know what I mean? Like it will be. And what I'm talking about is like maybe there's a third thing. So there's like whatever methods, events, and then there's like a third thing called whatever bananas, and it's never going to suggest bananas. It's just going to talk about events the whole time. And that's why. And so this is. I often mention like if I had gone to. Oh wait, here's an interface. Anyways, uh, if I would gone to a human, like one of my friends who's a programmer, they'd be like a C# programmer, let's say. They'd be like, oh, the best way is to do this way, and they would already immediately, from what I'm talking about, they would already um, immediately throw in the newest, bestest way. But this, you gotta like suggest it kind of. But if you don't know what to suggest, you can't. Okay, global system. So we're going to do the global system. Register listeners for specific event types. Deliver those events. Because we're also, one of my complaints about how this is currently set up is this, there's an event log right here. It already fills up with shit, and I want the player to be able to turn those off. So I think this will help with that. Create one global system where its sole job is to register listeners. I suddenly, C# state machine. What? A state machine is a program constructor used to manage the behavior of an object or system by defining a set of possible states and the rules for yeah. So all this stuff when people ask me that question, I needed like a real like a for my learning, I need to have real life examples. I mean, I know they had a car one, but I need one that's like used with what I'm doing. Created one global system whose sole job is to register listeners, deliver those events, and stay decoupled from game logic. Think of it as a post office. Okay, loggers, UI, and a subscribe. Okay, this all sounds good. Okay, example implementation. We're gonna use an interface supposedly. Uh, Critter would be happy. Critter would be very happy. Public interface iGame event. Marker interface for all events. Define specific event types. Battle lost event. Um, Event bus. Okay, so we have a dictionary of listeners, huh? And we're gonna subscribe. Oh shit, we're using the T thing. Where T is an iGame event. If a listener try to get value, I don't know what the fuck this is. Add a handler. The handler is something. um, okay, so we have subscribe, unsubscribe, then we have publish. When a faction um, loses a battle, when you initialize the system, This has been driving me nuts lately, and I don't know why I haven't changed it. Go to 8. It's and certain websites when I've zoomed in like this, it's too much. When a faction loses a battle, we publish the new battle lost event. So let's go back up and look at publish. Get this shit out of my face. What the fuck is going on with this new thing that the web does where they put these floating things that you have to like click away from? Like, I think it's because I had, something hovering when I started scrolling. Okay, so publish type of T. So we're putting in the game event as the T, or sorry, not the game, the event, battle lost event. So let's follow this back up. So here's our I event thing. So okay, so maybe this will help me understand interfaces too. So if we pass in this publish thing, I game event, it's got to have this interface stuck at the end of it, like this. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Okay. So we're doing a new thing there. And when you initialize systems, event bus subscribe on battle loss. Private on battle lost. E. Centralize. One bus handles all events regardless of source. Type safe. No string keys or weak reflection. I don't know what the fuck a weak reflection is. Fast. Delegate. Direct delegate identification. Virtually zero overhead. And independently. Easy to debug. Thousands of world events per second. Recommended. Okay, so let's say on battle lost will also play a sound. How would that code look? All right, I'm gonna go take a quick break while it's thinking for that. All right, I'm pausing my music, you guys can't hear. I'm gonna put this up, and we will be right back. We as in me. Hey, look at that. I hit the free limit. We were talking about that yesterday, that maybe someone was saying that they didn't hit the limit recently. Um, that's for sorry, I'm fixing my boot. Um, the good chat GPT. What did I ask it? Okay, you're gonna do another event with sound. Um, handle battle lost, register faction events. Okay, so for each faction and factions, it's gonna add a battle lost thing. Um, sound instance manager. Handle battle lost. Log the events. Play the sound. Optionally update morale or diplomacy, which we are going to do diplomacy. And I mean, I guess morale. You can only call once after loading them. All factions once after loading. Even with that gets 500 trivial overhead. The sound manager. I don't really care about the sound manager. I was more looking for the. You can add as many reactions to a single. Okay, so let's do this. I have a on army destroyed. All right, so let's look at this again. Register faction events. When is this? See, that thing's back. You have to click away from it. I don't know why when it appeared. It's probably something I did something that caused it to appear. Um, I was just thinking about something here. Okay. So play faction sound battle lost. Okay, so this fires both. So we would just keep adding to handle battle lost. But it's still representative. Um, that's fine. I did. It's just funny. It's not checking though to see which, if it's is player. It isn't checking if it is the player faction anywhere. Alright, good catch. In this example, I get the sound plays for every faction, but often you only want the reactions like, okay, here how to fix it cleanly. Okay. So it's interesting, when I was doing some multiplayer stuff, it did stuff like this all the time. Put this return up at the top. Oh, here, it's back again. What is causing? Oh, it's back. Does it just appear every time I scroll? What the fuck? Does that happen to other people? Is it because I'm using Firefox? All right, I think we can. Well, we can start trying to handle this. All right. So let's go back to this. Let's go. Wait, it's in faction? No, we're gonna have a new script for our events. So let's start with that. Let's go back to the top of this. I see that's one of the problems. This is a me problem with I ask it a bunch of questions and then I have too much information to when I want to go back to the very basic stuff. Okay, so here we have all of our centralized event bus. Why are we calling it an event bus? I'm going to ask it that. Why is it called an event bus? It's that? No. Is it really? I assumed it was like bus for computer bus. Computer bus. Yeah. Yeah, like the system bus and all that stuff. Are those named after city buses? I never. Oh my God. My eyes. Um, city. Hmm. Okay. Bus terminology. A passenger, publisher, person gets passenger on bus. Why it's useful. Um, it isn't named after a computer bus. Not really. Network connection lost. Attempting to reconnect. Is that true? Is that okay? No, that is not true. All right. Well, we have enough information to go. I was nitpicking there. Um, we'll call it that for now. I'll probably later be like, no, I don't like that. Okay, let's copy this code. Let's put in, we have some folders for certain stuff. This one's like a pretty base script, though. It's not like a public, well, is it a public class? I don't, wait, it probably is a public class. It is a public class. It's a static public class. So we'll put this in with our public classes. Um, and we will create a new script, event bus. Though I don't like that name. Oh, I left it as a node. And then we will open it up and I'll cough. We'll add in a C# dictionary. What do you need in here? System. What do you need here? Create interface. Okay, so we need an iGame event. Now, I have an interface folder that has one interface in it. We don't do anything with this? Oh, right, we lost our network connection. Can we just Yeah, I get it. Um, where should this be? This only purpose is to tag classes as game events, so your event bus can enforce where it should live. Oh, you do want it to be its own script. Okay. We're gonna put this in the interface right here. Is it still on my? No, there's garbage here. Oh, it was the same thing. I get I game event. C#. I personality. Okay, so and it's gonna have nothing in it. Let's just copy this. Nope, not that. Copy this. It has 3 uses already. Marker interface for all events. I'm gonna put a note in here. Chat GPT made me do this. There we go. And Namespace recommendations. Your game.events. Oh yeah, we do need a namespace. I'm just gonna put whatever it tells me. To internal. Critter uses internal all the time. It's not it's not suggesting a namespace. Normally it does. It's gonna be player space. So my namespaces are all fucked up uh, because of how I didn't know what I was doing at the beginning. So yeah, there's that. Um, iGame events. iGame events. Why don't you like this? Oh, because we have to use it or something? Oh, we didn't have, this is going to be a namespace. No, all sorts of problems here. Go over here. There we go. In all my other games, the namespaces are broken out by whatever. Oh look, they use var. I wonder if we can make it not use var. I don't like var. In the event bus, can we not use var? We might have to, and then maybe I'll understand why some people are so hardcore about using var. There's some people, they've come into chat and they get very upset that I don't use var. And they kind of, it's only been like 2 people, but they get very can you do this without var? Yeah, by explicitly declaring the types. The reason why I like to explicitly declare the types is because it throws an error if you do it. It tells you that there's an issue. So now what is the difference? Copy this, and we'll put the new one at the top here, and we will look at them. We will compare the var. So where's the first var? The first var is out var list. Out list. Really? So why? So this is where I like. This is where like I need like to go to school. It's because all they did is take out var. Listener type of list equals if listener. Wait, is that a bunch? Oh no, it is slightly. List equals new list delegates. All right, let's get rid of this other one. I don't give a fuck right now. We'll come back later and figure this out. We'll understand it more later. Okay, so we have this. We don't have any errors. We do have one thing here. What do you want? Rename to listeners with a capital L. Why is that? We'll leave this for now. Sometimes the naming can. Well, what is it? What do you want? A capital L too? Inline out variable declaration. What? Why is that a problem? Oh, okay. So it did the var. Okay, so it put this here because I made it get rid of the var. And so I guess in the correct way to do it, you would put this here. All right, we'll leave it like this for now so my brain can also grasp what the hell is going on easier, and then we'll fix it later once my brain has grasped things better. Okay, so we have an iGame event, which doesn't do anything. We just log it as that for some reason. I thought we were going to do something with that thing. So now, let's go back to it up here. I think we need to go up farther. And then we'll try a couple different things. We'll have 2 different things. We already have like the battle thing. All right, so here's that. We need battle lost event. And so this battle lost event, where does it go? Here's the usage. Is this its own public class? We're going to have a lot of fucking events if we do that. What does it say? It is a public class. So we put the battle lost. Where does the battle lost event go? Battle lost event. Random raccoon. we're learning, and it has it has an interface on it. It doesn't do anything. The interface doesn't do anything though. I was like, when I saw this, I was all, Critter would be so happy that I'm gonna use an interface here, but it doesn't do anything. It just is like that. So I don't know. Let's see here. Back to where I was. What was I doing? No, we don't. I went too far. It's just going to be its own. Oh no, I didn't go far enough. It's just going to be its own public, or its own, yeah, public class. So each event is going to have its own thing. Oh, they put the bus in here too. That's probably a good idea. Yeah, I was thinking like, do you put all the events in one script or something? How's your game going? All right, so let's do this. Let's add a new folder here. I'm gonna start from the top. Events. And I think I had an events when I deleted it. And then we'll put you in here. Get the fuck out of here. And we'll put the event bus, which I put in their public classes over here. There we go. And then we're going to create a new script. I'm just trying to I'm just trying to wrap my head currently around this one event. So I was thinking about doing it a certain way, and then I was like, there's got to be a better way to do this. And then I was like, kept questioning ChatGPT. Death, how's it going? I'm doing good. We're learning something new here. Well, sort of. I used some events a long time ago, then I kind of stopped using them. But I think that for this stuff, it's becoming, we definitely want to uncouple things. And so then I was like, so the issue, and I was pointing this out earlier, the issue with ChatGPT is I was like, how do I do this? And it told me, and I said, well, what about events? But see, if I had never mentioned events, it wouldn't have told me that events were a better way to do it. But then does it really know that, it doesn't know anything, but are events really the better way to do it? Or is it just, following along with what I'm saying? And there could be a third way to do things, but since I don't know what that third way is, even exists, I can't ask it to say like, well, what about whatever, But I have wanted to use more events and find their importance. Where was I doing? We are doing the Battle Lost event here. And it does make sense that they would be their own script. So Battle Lost event is a public class. I'm going to take this. Okay, that all looks... we need to open up the script, though. We need to create it. Battle Lost event. Yep, exactly. And that's one of... So I always say, like, if I was asking a friend, how do you do this? Or they would immediately, like, let's say the first thing I was suggesting ChatGPT to do, which is with methods, whatever, a human would be immediately go, oh no, you want to use events for that. No, you don't want to do that shit. Do it this way. They would immediately pick up on what you're trying to do. Most of the time, unless, I don't know. Everyone always tells me you should be using an array, and I'm like, no, I shouldn't. That's one of the things that's so funny is everyone's immediately like, use an array, and it's like, no, man, I'm not using a fucking array. Too many asking it to always try to challenge your idea seems like kind of works, but over time it does. Were you the person that yesterday was talking about how it ran out of or never asked you to that you were out of whatchamacallits? I can't remember. Out of free whatevers, because it did that earlier to me, but then it said there was a network connection and I no longer could connect to it, so I just refreshed the page. I don't know if they were related. Okay, I think I have this on my clipboard. We got to open up this script here. We got our new event thing here. And we're going to need to add in. We need our namespace, though. We need our namespace. Player space. And then we needed never reached the limit today after maybe it was like holding up the waiting for like keeping track. Renamed it lowercase. Yeah, so I was wondering earlier why when ChatGPT did this it was uppercase. I wonder if this is something, I don't know where it went. It's above the sound manager. Oh, is it because when we do this, it will be lowercase to... See, like this, it has it all uppercase, but then writer's like, no, this should be lowercase. All right, and we're going to do a new... I was like, doesn't this need to be static? But no, I see what's going to how this is going to work. All right, we'll change this to lowercase, but I have a feeling that this is not... I don't like this. We're going to rename this to population data representative. Oh, I know why it named it that. It thinks it's the representative of this battle lost event. And I guess it kind of is. It's getting there. 5 years. I'm going to say faction data also. Because faction is something else. And battle's fine. It's getting there. 5 years. We were talking about hiring people yesterday. Godot people, Crystal. I know on your channel often you talk about getting jobs and things. It's interesting looking at like Upwork and what is available for Godot, which is not that much. All right, so back to our events thing. So we have the event bus. We have... Okay, so this is going to be our first thing we're going to do. Oh, we need to subscribe, but that's going to be that's going to be now. No, we still need to subscribe to it. So the event log is going to subscribe to this. I think centralized listener registration. At game startup, after loading factions, wire up all the handlers that care about battle loss events once. You can do this in a game event router or battle event singleton. This is we need to put this in. And this is gonna get, yeah, so this, we don't need the sound thing. That was just, I was curious how it would look with a second thing besides the event log, the event log, which I kind of now want to rename this because there's too many things called event. Maybe rename it to whatever. Player event, player log, or player log would actually work. Player log actually would be much better because it's literally, that's what it is. Maybe we'll do that as well. Since we're making no progress on the thing I actually wanted to do. Add game start. We wire all of these. The game event router that care about battle loss events. So this is going to go through every faction, and we're going to subscribe. So we're going to have another class called the game event, or another script called the game event. Where did it put it in this little thing? You should have a class per handler. He did send me that update. It was okay. It cost him a ton of money, but I was surprised that it didn't like he can just that it didn't like completely destroy him, if that makes sense. Like he's still getting like 2,000 viewers a week or whatever it was, or per stream. That's still like a ton. Yeah, so like I'm sure, like, you know, the fair weather, and also like YouTube is weird because people will subscribe to stuff and then never look at it ever again, and I do that all the time. Like I subscribe to stuff and then I see that they post it, I never look at it again, and it's a weird dichotomy. So random raccoon critter, what are you talking about? Event logging handler. So I already have a script for, I don't have a sound thing. I just asked it, like, I was curious what a second thing would look like in here. So I said, what about sound? But I already have an event log thing. Are you saying there should be another script that is like another, because I already have this event instance because it puts it on the screen, you know. It's a specific instance of that. Each endpoint for that has its own class. I don't know what you mean. Sorry. I don't know what you mean. Text messaging is not the best way. I was trying to help someone with UI stuff, and I was trying to type in, and it was just like never ending. Never ending me correcting and changing what I said because it was too impossible for him to understand what I was typing. So I guess we'll put this. This is going to be its own script, I suppose. That, not that. It's on my clipboard. The sound manager. We're not doing a sound manager. This thing. Shouldn't this, can't we put this in with that other event thing? Game event router. So no, I see now what we're gonna do. Maybe. All right. We just need one thing to work at the beginning here, and we can always redo everything. I'm not sure what I have on my clipboard here. That's not what I want. I want this. This is very small too. You guys need to be able to see what I'm doing here. All right. So we're gonna create this. But now I feel like this should be broken into smaller things. So if a battle is lost, the log is created by the event log. The diplomacy ramifications are handled. Yeah. So there'll be another thing, like kind of like this. Where's that sound? All right, it's right here. There'll be a different thing for diplomacy, like this thing. So there'll be a different instance for each one of these. No? The log is created by the event log. The diplomacy ramifications are handled by the diplomacy manager. Morale is handled by the faction manager. That code is tightly coupled. That sounds like you're insulting something. you're being offensive somehow. I don't know how. I know you're not. Okay. You're using an event bus to uncouple the code. Yes, sort of. Because we're going to have, so when a battle is lost, there are going to be a variety of different things that people can subscribe. I said people. Different things that need to be known to happen. I'm just moving the coupling. All right. So then at this point, what should be in here? Forget this sound thing. This thing. We'll use this as an example because this is a real thing. Only one. So then you would have or only two or only three. Okay, so so handle battle lost event. No, we're not going to call it event log. We're going to call it player log. So this should be handle battle lost player log. And then down on the next one would be handle battle lost sound. And then these things there would be a thing here that has faction.on battle loss subscribe to handle battle lost player log. And then it would have another one that would be handle battle lost sound, whatever. The player log class listens to the battle. Yeah. So the way I was saying or differently? Oh, okay. Wait. You're saying in the event log, it should be listening. Or yes, as I said. Well, now I'm more confused. So the event log shouldn't be listening. This event router thing should be. They all listen individually. So the event log should be, because I already have that. I do want to rename it because when I named it originally, I didn't really like it, but now I really don't like it. Let's see. That's going to probably be under UI actually, because it's a UI thing. So this thing, let's pretend it's renamed. Event router is crap. So that would be another problem once again with ChatGPT. So I'm going to tell it that and see what it says. Where'd it go? Because I want to tell it exactly what it was called. Game event router. I hear the idea of a game event router is crap. Ah, yes. Let's unpack that carefully. The criticism you probably heard about a game event router usually comes from people with experience in large-scale event-driven systems. It's not that the idea is wrong. It will never admit that it's wrong, too. Have you ever noticed that? You can, like, even when it's... One time, it gave me links to stuff, and I don't remember what it was, but it gave me 3 links, and one of the links worked and the other 2 didn't. And I kept telling it, these links don't work, and it would be like, oh... try this link, and it would give me the same link. And it's like, these don't work, man. It's that in practice, it often becomes a maintenance trap if implemented poorly. Let's go through why and what better alternatives look like. Why a game event log can be considered crap. It's often centralized too much logic. I need to change this still. We need to go down. One more. 2 more. It's just on this. We're going to go to 6. It often centralizes too much logic. People implement it as a singleton that manually wires every event to every handler. Over time, the router grows huge. It knows factions, battles, blah, blah, blah. Becomes a god object. Exactly what we want to avoid. It breaks decoupling. If your router decides that what happens for each event, it starts to replace the event bus. Well, I was kind of surprised there was an event bus and then this other thing. Instead of letting systems subscribe independently, the router becomes the only handler. All systems now depend on it. It discourages modularity. You can't just drop in a new system without touching the router. This creates a single point of change problem. Very brittle for large games. This thing is going to be a monstrous spaghetti garbage, so it's going to be brittle to begin with. So we need to try to strengthen its ability. It adds boilerplate for little gain. All it does is subscribe events one place. You can just subscribe your system directly to the event bus. Cleaner and... Okay, so also... Wait. Also, the whole point of bringing this up was I said there's got to be an easier way than having it test all the time if the thing is the player's. And the event log is only going to call... We could set the call only there. That's what it sounds like. Let's see. Better alternative. Instead of event, you should use a centralized event. We already have that. Let each system subscribe directly to the events. All right. And that's also kind of, and thank you for reminding me, that's kind of how I saw it when I originally was looking at events ages ago. I can't remember that guy's name. I wonder if I'm still subscribed or I'm still in his Discord. I don't think I am. It would be way at the bottom. I always run out of enough Discord. But this one guy had an event tutorial that was pretty good back in the day. He was a Unity guy, and then he switched to Godot, and then he immediately went back to Unity. He was a C# teacher in school. All right, so we'll put this in the event log, which let's just rename this. We're going to break something. Let's see what we called it over here. It's not its own control. It's quite old. No, story event? No, that's a different event. Battle log? No. What the fuck is it called? Oh, it's right at the very top. We're going to rename this to player log. Yeah, because it needs to sit on the bottom? I don't know why it's up at the very top. Then we are going to close it over here. We're going to rename this to player log. And then we're going to do this. And then we're going to close this. And then usually you don't have to rename it, but... Okay, then we're going to reopen it. Best alternative is what I want. All right, a paste bin. I'm going to open it up over here. Logger, new logger, do battle. Here, let's move this over here. I was looking at this. This thing on the side. I was like, what is this? Oh, it's an ad that somebody figured out. You could do ads. All right, we got our event bus. We have an action battle lost. We have our logger, public logger, battle lost. On battle lost, right? A battle was lost. It's making me think about something else here. We can put the GD prints in here too. So this is all right. So this is basically. So that one's gonna. Okay, yeah. This makes sense. Thank you. Shit. I rolled over my cord again. It's never gonna end. And yeah. All right. We need to fix this thing. This is one of the strangest things with Godot is it keeps this old thing in there, even though I renamed it and it knows it got renamed. All right. That probably broke something. Let's just hit play real quick to see if the event log is, I guess I could have loaded. We need an event to happen. Uh, we have broken our event log. Because we need to put this stuff back in here. Event log scroll container. Oh, I didn't name this the way that I name things. Wait, why do I need a scroll tank? That's what this is. This is some old code, guys. Come on. I didn't know. I didn't know that you could do that. All right. But now I do. I hope. I think. And I didn't follow my naming convention here either. And so we got to fix that. We're going to build it. We're going to rename this though while we're here. This is going to be the player log. What is this panel? Oh, this is a packed scene. For odd lines, huh? Okay. So we need to have this go over here. We need to build you again. And we're going to go, you go in here. And then we need to find this pack scene, which should hopefully be in my scenes folder. It is very old. And we're going to rename this. See, I love renaming stuff all the time, and it just causes all these issues. We don't need to actually do anything. We just need to let some time pass here. All right, so that is back. Let's let another thing happen. There we go. 50 things happen. Then back to what we were working on. We can close the player log. We don't need this thing. This thing, the game event router, can be deleted. And that's going to go back to our, let's close that up, our events here. Game event router, you can go. So then we're going to go into the player log, which is open. So I also got to control myself. So what happens is when I learn something new or start using something new, I use it all the time, and then it doesn't work 50% of the time. I use it too much. And I was like, oh, we could change the battle into this. No, we're not going to do that. We got to take baby steps here. We're going to do this very baby step based. So this is just a... So you're saying we don't need this. We could just get rid of this. There's no point to that. I don't see why there's a point. What is the point of the interface? Now we're getting into why we even bother with iGameEvent instead of using object or the concrete class directly. Let's break it down. This is a marker interface. It has no methods or properties. Its only purpose is to tag a class as a game event. Yeah, why not use object? You can write an event bus like this. No type safety. You could accidentally publish a string or some unrelated object. Subscriptions are error prone. Listeners have to cast the object manually. Brittle code. If you rename or change the event class, the compiler can't help you. Compile time safety. Guaranteed only valid events are published. Subscribers can safely assume the type. Unified event hierarchy. All events implemented iGame event. You can store them. The alternate to a marker is thrown away the entire class. It's just not have it. You just put a nothing at the end. You would just have just a public class like that, right? Easier future extension. If you later want common behavior for all events, yeah, you get rid of this thing. Well, I do want a timestamp though. You can extend the interface. Well, I was excited to get to use one. If you want, I can diagram showing. Oh yeah, yes. Draw it for me. I like it when it attempts to draw stuff. Joker pointed this out that it will draw stuff now. It takes an eternity. Let's go back to this. Not to this, sorry. No, we're going to keep that up, actually. I was going to just close. You know, I always talk about my new assistant at work. They're not really my assistant, but they close everything. I have not seen someone close things so crazy. Like, they close. They are into really closing stuff. And they're constantly having to reopen shit. All right, so let's go back and get rid of this. Let's keep it simple for now. And we can, if we need to change it to an interface, we can. I'm trying to look at stuff that we can close here. Let's go back. We don't need county open right now. Let's go back to our, did I close that? Speaking of closing things, we don't need this open. We might need population data, but we need our event bus open because I want to look at publish when it happens. And we're going to need our battle event, which I think was open. Yep. And we're going to need common data and common requirements. Right now, I don't think we do. I do have a timestamp in, but it's built into the event log. Like it just does it on with the event log. That's just what it does. So we just take that off of there, and then we take off this, right? Oh, but I have to put something here. Where T is what? Oh, the where T is because of the okay. All right, so then let's go back to the original thing we were doing, which is this. So this whole thing, we don't need this faction. Oh, we never put it in the player log part. Let's put this in the player log thing. All we did was rename it. Where the fuck is that thing now? Did I turn that? Yes. Player log. We need to put the event subscription part in here. So there's going to be a shit ton of subscriptions in here already, though. That might be why the player log is way up at the top, actually. Is because it needs to be there because I had events in here. You can use an interface if you had common data. You might have a to event log string function and it formats it for GDP print considering everything in the class. Then the log helper can call the function without worrying about the underlying class. That makes no sense to me. Thank you for trying. All right, so in here, we need to put that event thing though. No, we just need to subscribe to it on Ready. So we need to go, we don't need that. So on ready, we'll subscribe to events, and we will go get this thing out of here. We'll go, what is that thing? The event bus, but this is static class. So how we do this here? That's a rhetorical question. I'm not asking you guys. We go uh, event bus dot subscribe, and then what do you want in here? Subscribe. I think we go. Well, I need another event. No, this is right, and then this is gonna be. No, I'm doing this backwards. How do I do this? Once again, rhetorical question. So you want the game for subscribe, you want some sort of list. All right, I'm gonna look at ChatGPT. Don't tell me. Not this. Well, actually, yes, this. We'll look at this. Event bus. Okay, that's there. Event bus battle lost. He already wrote the whole thing out. On battle lost. It's doing it slightly differently. On. Oh, it's doing it with a subscribe. You put in the event. Oh, look, it did draw a little picture. This is actually a pretty good picture. I don't know if it's right, but it doesn't really help me. But I do like it that it will draw a picture. That's like a new thing. Okay. Okay, instead of game event router, you should use a centralized let each subsystem. So we would go event bus subscribe. Okay, so we would put in a battle lost event and then event log dot handle battle loss. This is how you subscribe to it. Let's look over here. This would be the player log. We're in the we don't have an event log. We have handle battle lost. Battle lost. What do you actually? I don't understand what this thing wants. We subscribe. Here we can comment this out. Handle battle lost. Explain this to me. See, here's that button's back again. Let me try here to because the best way that I learn is by trying to figure out problems, and even if they're self-created. I gotta update my music 1 second. Oh, I just gotta tell it to keep playing it. Okay, so we have that vent bus. Oh, it's still back in. This is back for the where it's the for each part. So then the vent bus, no. So this is going to get a list of delegate listeners, and then it's going to turn them into an array. Then it's going to have actions. All right, tell me what is the correct way. Smart inner. It's only pros of 10. Okay, that's where we're talking about that thing. Event bus subscribe type of both are acceptable. Publish battle lost events. So this is the object thing. It didn't like this though. So I have to put, where do I put this though? Where does this thing go? Where does this thing go? Oh, it's thinking hard. Because this is going to subscribe. We need the event log, though. I'm using an action per event bus item. It's using a unique class per event bus item. So your thing... oh, do I've got to, let me make sure. Let me look at the event bus here. Using an action per event bus item. It's usually a unique class per event bus item. Yeah, so there's a class for it for each battle lost event. Is that what you mean? And you're using an action. I'm telling you. So like I was saying yesterday, this was a Reddit post, so you know, take it with a grain of salt. But they were saying that all of the AI models need to charge a shit ton more to make any money. All of them are hemorrhaging money right now. But the thing is that like their product isn't very reliable. Let's say I was doing something important. You know, I also was watching a video and someone wanted to back up their claim in the video they were debating. And the guy kept saying, ask Grok, as his way to prove that he was right. And that blew my mind. My mind was blown. Okay, that line goes on the player log manager. Yeah, this thing's dead. So in the player log manager, it doesn't like this though. Do we need a new one of them? Because it did have a new at some point. It's not, do I have the subscribe function? This is a public class. Did I rename it something? Battle lost event. Wait. Oh, I do not have this. Okay, all right. I do not have this. Get rid of one of these. So this is gonna replace, I see now. So we would go whatever, private void handle battle lost events, and then this I see, because it's different than the it's different than the plus equals thing. So then in here, Taryn, how's it going? It's going good. So then in here, I hate when they're one letter. I hate it. I despise it. Okay, so this thing. So then why, see, if ChatGPT was working, I'd ask, why don't we just use a normal subscription thing to this, though? What's the point of this event bus? Now we're going back in circles here. Because we're going to have like a bazillion events. All right, let's keep on task, though. Let's do this. Let's do this one, see how it works, and then we will go from there. My criticisms will or my questions and criticisms will become more clear. It means you don't need to change the event bus for each event bus item. You only need a new class. Oh, okay, I gotcha. So we can just put in whatever each thing is when we're subscribing. Okay. Now what the fuck is my music playing? I know you guys can't hear it. Sometimes it just randomly suggests some bizarre shit. So in here, though, we need to go back to the actual problem here, and it's this one. And I just need this for a reference here. Let's stick it right here temporarily. So the battle lost event is going to have whoops, is going to have this faction stuff. So we're going to go E. Fuck your E. I'm going to rename this. I can't stand that. I don't know why it drives me nuts so much. I've told this story many times, but when I first started my current job, so we have a faction data in there. The guy that I replaced named everything Derp. And when I say everything, I'm talking like 75% of everything he did, he named Derp. So there would be fucking folder systems that were Derp, 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 Derp. Yeah, it was. And so let's say you wanted to search for something he did. Fucking impossible. The whole thing was fucking crazy. Okay, so this population data should actually be called Army Leader. Try, catch, exception, exception. Why a try? Why try? Battle lost events. This is going to be Army Leader. Not for me. Phrase. Okay, so this is going to, when we subscribe, let's put this. Oh, yeah. Exception. Man. Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that guy was. They basically let him go because he had a bad attitude about everything. Okay. So this is our first event. It's going to subscribe, but we need to invoke this event. We're only going to invoke it in one place. I don't know how to invoke it. Let's see what invoking looks, because normally it's the invoke thing. Do battle. Yours is different though. Let's see. It's the publish function. Okay, so let's go back. That's in our battle control. So here, we need it. Which one is the most likely one to happen here? I guess we can just put it in all of them. And that's where we do the new event. I got it. Or the new public class. I guess we'll just put it in all of these because otherwise we would have to do the battles like 5 different times. Why are there 2? Oh, remember we had a duplicate yesterday and I put a issue in of why we needed to look and why we had 2? Well, there's why, because it was in there twice. Okay, so then we go event bus dot publish. And this is the new battle thing. Okay, battle lost event. No, that's not what it's called. Oh, that is what it's called. Game event. Yeah, battle lost event. But we need to put shit in here. I don't know how that looks. I think we go the faction data. We need this after all. It's going to go in here. Then we put a comma. And we're going to need the leader. That's going to go in here. And then what was the third thing? You're not going to tell me? Why won't you tell me what's in here? Oh, the battle. Seems easy enough. Okay, but this isn't going to work. The constructor is blank. You need a constructor on these things every time? I don't understand constructors at all. Because I work sometimes without, and then it's sometimes you need them. And I don't understand why it works sometimes. Or use an object initializer. Can't we just go with that? Can't we just push that button? I think it's, you go like this. Control period. Control space. No. Control, there's a key that will generate the constructor. Enter? No. I thought it was space period? No. Control Z. Control, I thought it was control period, but that was on Visual Studio. No, and it would just like spit out the constructor because I'm lazy. Writer, generate constructor hotkey. Get the fuck out of my face. Alt insert. Really? Alt insert. Oh, I have to check these? In Visual Studio, I have to admit, whatever the thing was, it just... Nah, that's not bad. But then it's going to say, make this a primary constructor. Okay, so why don't we just do that? And then we'll go back to our... not there. Battle control. And now it's happy. Thank you. I was thanking you, critter, not this thing. We don't have a faction. We don't have a faction thing here. We are going to have one in a second. Oh, because we added the faction thing later. We only have 3 of these? All right. So we're going to put in, these are different. This one is attacking. This one is defending. And now we need to lose a battle. Or something. Some battle has to happen. Shit. Another hour already passed. Okay, so this is easy to make a battle happen, though. We do that. We declare war. And then we go into here. We'll leave it at 1 speed. And we're looking for something to appear over here. Or to get a bug. And there's a bug. But this might be a different one. This is a different bug. I wonder if we can get past this. This seems, I feel like this should be, no, that's right. This is what we did yesterday. This is one part of what we did yesterday. Token spawn token button is not equal to null. Is dead person? Oh, we killed. Oh, what happened is, wait, this shouldn't get to here. This should be inside this thing. I don't know if this will. We killed somebody who wasn't a hero, which in our testing never happened because we weren't trying. I wonder if that subordinates list is correct in the tooltip. I don't know if we can get past here. Yeah, that guy's still trying to recruit. Okay, so that didn't work, but there could be a couple of different things going on there. I am going to take a quick break though. So we didn't get the printout of the lost battle. Well, let's double check that. There's a couple of things that could have gone wrong there. Lost battle definitely did not come out though. We didn't get an error. I wonder when I need to unsubscribe to events too. We have subscribed event and ready. This should get the fuck out of there because that doesn't make any sense. All right, so we handle battle lost is in here. This should have. I'm wondering if one of the problems it could be though is that we didn't hit the battle lost stuff. Like there was an if then because I did delete something out of there. That's it. We're in the right spot here. Well, let me go smoke and then we can double check this. And we're gonna clean this up too at some point. Might be a couple years from now, but at some point we're going to. All right. Let me throw my break timer and I'll be back in less than 5 minutes. All right, I have returned. Let me turn up my break timer. Making some progress and learning something new, sort of. Sort of. Uh, sort of learning something new. I was already thinking though, if we do it this way, which is what we're gonna do, um, we can make this a lot better and less painful. We're gonna have like a bazillion classes though, but that isn't the end of the world. All right, so why didn't this fire? We could put in a little test somewhere. Check if an army flees. Oh, nobody fled. They died. They died instead. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because their token disappeared. That's why we need this event. So we need this. Wherever this thing is. So that was an outcome I didn't plan for. Whoops. Lost an army. Has lost. Wait. Has lost. Well, we know this is being used. Where is this being used? Check if army. Here we go. So what we'll do with this one is this needs another event thing. So what we need to do is publish this. We need this in here. So this and this is either or. We're gonna have to change this around as well. There's gonna be other things. See, because we would need to break this into two. That's why this one's broken into these different things, is because of the event logs. And in this case, we want to know if either one. But let's just put this in here for now. This is just for testing. All right. And then we'll see. We never... Oh, that was because that was in the wrong spot. Yeah. Wonder why it fired 4 times. Let's start a new one. A battle in event and work out if you want or not from the data. Not sure of all your use cases though. So the issue is that I wanted to say, no, that's probably a good idea, but because then we could decouple some more. But in this case, you want to know if you want it or lost. Basically, you want an event to pop up here because let's say the battle's going and you're looking over here at the map. You want to have the events of regardless of you won or lost. But I want to say who won or lost, so then you have to put in. I mean, we just put in the faction that won or lost is one of the things. But then at the same time, we want to sort out people you're not a part of. Like we don't want to. So like, let's say there's a war going over here in Idaho that you don't give a fuck about because you're not a part of it. We don't want that to flood your event log. So that's another thing that needs to be added in there. But let's run this again and we'll fix that later. I just want to make sure the event part is working. I guess I didn't need to start it again. Before we get too hardcore. Kathleen. Oh my God. I gotta skip this song. Helmet. That's the name of the band. I remember when Helmet got really huge. And I think so that's what I originally tried to do. I had all these events and there was problems with order of operations actually. Or order method of whatever. We still didn't get it to appear. Yeah, I had all sorts of issues with events and other things. Why is this so small? What are we looking at here? Check if an army is destroyed. Check if an army is destroyed. What are you? Oh, because I just slapped this shit in here. We need to make sure. And at this point, the attacking army was the one who died. So that didn't work. We could do, because this is just for, we're going to fix this anyways. So let's put in here. I think this is in globals. Player, no, I moved it. God damn it. I need to make a decision too with where shit is. Okay, so this is always going to work now. It's not going to give us the right information, but it's always going to work. And that way we can test the event. That's all I'm trying to do is make sure this event thing works. Kathleen, you ready to die again? Possibly? Yeah, we got to stop that recruiting. Did both sides die? That's a possibility that shouldn't be able to happen. Oh, I still have this thing in here. Faction data, battle, attacking army. Jesus Christ. The attacking army is a person. We'll just put, oh no, because the faction leader could croak. Okay, we gotta be, we could, see, this whole problem is we gotta figure out, we gotta write this for real. I was trying to just do it easier. Okay. You're gonna go over here. We're going to go, has lost an army, actually does still stay there. This is gonna go away. The faction data will be, if, no wait, we gotta go back even farther than that. You shouldn't be setting things to null this early. Our thing, oh, up here? That was for the faction name thing. We need this. If the defending faction is, the defending is a player, we could do, oh, but this is just for the log. Then we're gonna do the player log thing. So this one, we need, the faction name is up there because they would be destroyed. We cannot pass in. We should change this, actually. We shouldn't pass in the faction data. We should pass in the faction name. And we should pass in the army leader name. So let's go do that, because this is going to cause us all sorts of issues later. This should be a string. And this should be faction name. Oh, we gotta change all this shit because of this stupid constructor. And this just needs to be a string as well. Name. And this should be a string. Whoops, a string as well. I'm gonna rename this player. But see, then where it's exactly, it's only, well, we'll worry about it later. Seem to have names related to the name of this type. Yes. Okay. Oh, but now I have to rename we got to make sure that the file. So sometimes the file renames itself and sometimes it doesn't. So I always go in and check because if it doesn't, whoops, if it doesn't rename itself, you're fucked. This needs to be a lowercase they need to be have different names or something. Is that what your problem is? Oh, army leader name, and then battle we will pass in, though I'm not sure why. Then we'll go back over to our player log here, and we will just pass in our faction name. Whoop, I went too far. Faction name with an F, and then we'll put in, we don't need their full name here. We're gonna go army leader name, and then this is gonna go away. And then that is what we're gonna print. Then we're gonna go back to this thing we busted over here, and we're gonna pass in faction name. And then for this, we actually, we actually have the faction name up there to avoid this problem. And then this needs to be a person. And so if this or a person's name for the defending, though, he's already croaked. He's already dead at this point. So maybe we don't pass in their name because they're already dead. If they're destroyed, they're already dead. So we're going to get rid of this actually. Because this is battle lost. This is going to go. And then, no, I left the stupid fucking constructor in here. And then we're going to go back. We better save that. We're going to go back to here. It's going to have this. And then we're going to go back to here. And we're going to get rid of this. But what we will do instead is this, and we're going to go battle location dot county name. So now we'll know where. What does this say? And no, has lost. That's why that wasn't coming up, because has isn't in there. Has lost the battle. All right, I guess. All right, that's fine, I guess, for now. So we have that. We got to go back and fix these other problems down here, which should just be able to switch this to, we have a faction data. Get rid of this thing. Go faction name. Copy this thing. Put you in here. Put you in here. There we go. Now, run it again. Unless I forgot about something. Which I probably have. And Kathleen, they both died. I don't think that that is set up if they both die. And in fact, it shouldn't happen. Okay. Kathleen Carter has been killed, but we don't have the lost. I feel like I copied and pasted something weird. But these are all lost battle. Did we get a bug? We did. At least when you get a bug, you know something happened. It's the same place. No, it's in a different spot, but I bet you it's the same thing. We just moved it around. What happened? Someone didn't test this very well. Attacking army. Check if army flees. So somehow it got past check if army is destroyed. Oh, because I commented this out. Jesus Christ. What a pain in my ass. We need, because it was the other one. At least this all happened at once, right? And then we still have to put in that capture county. We haven't even done that yet. You're going to go to there. You're going to go to here. And we'll clean this up eventually. We're going to comment this out. This should have been commented out before. No. Lost an army we want. Lost an army we want. And then is this going to have... Oh, we still have that player thing in here. Let's fix this because we already did this. Defenders faction. We already have this up here, so we don't need this at all. That can go. That can go. And this is not going to have a, no, that is not going to have a capture county because it's going to be destroyed. That means you didn't capture the county. You have failed at your mission. And part 2. I guess, oh, I said start. Harold Simmons, now it's your turn. We wait. There's a lot of waiting in all IT things. We're still trying to recruit people. That we definitely need to stop that. Okay, so a couple of things happened here. AI Faction 2, Tillamook has lost the battle. Is that what happened? Harold Sims. Oh, it's because there's tokens on top of them. Who are you? Patrick Brown. Okay, so Patrick Brown is on the move. He did lose the battle. So we will probably have to change that though to show that the person, because the person survived this time. So in this battle and all the other battles we've done, someone died. People are dying too quickly, by the way. We need to change how that works because they're getting obliterated like right off the bat, and they shouldn't be. It should be pretty rare. They should run first. So he is running back to there, and we have this. So this did work. So our event has worked, I think. Is there any other way? He didn't lose the army. So this would have been in check if army flees, and we commented all this out. So this works. So then let's do a second one. How much time do we have? Let's do a second one somewhere else, and like because then we can do it from scratch. You know, like there's one more line of shit we gotta get out of here. So under army flees, no, we don't want to do that. Has lost an army. Let's do it to this one. So then what we would do with lost an army, it's actually the same. It's the same info, but it's a different string. So let's go back to our player log here, and we would subscribe we'd have another one of these, but we would we would generate a new one. Handle battle army lost, and then we can just do this. No, we need a new event though. Battle lost player log event. So we're gonna end this event. So we're gonna have like a living shit ton of these events. They're just gonna be everywhere. So we're gonna have. It's not. So this one is not battle lost. It's army lost. Player log event. We're gonna have to be very specific about all of this shit because we're gonna have so many of them. We're gonna have like tons and tons of these things. This is gonna be a public class. Then we need our namespace here. And then we're gonna go, and this is gonna need, is it army lost or what are we doing here? Has lost an army. So it's pretty much the same info. We need the faction name, which is a string, and we need the county name, and then we have this is always this. So we just need two things in this one. So yeah, we're gonna have like a ton of this shit if we do, because the thing about it also, we're gonna have these are gonna control other things. Like it's gonna fire off other things in other places. Where's our? I never opened it up. Okay, or no, I guess I did open up. You know, we can close this save file. I haven't looked at it in a couple of streams now. So we're gonna need a string, we're gonna need faction name, we're gonna need a string that is county name. And these are gonna be public though. And then we're gonna get rid of this shit. Then we're gonna go back to our battle control here. No, we're not done with this other thing. And the player log. So the player log is gonna have so many things that it's gonna print as well. We're gonna call this. Oh, I named this the same thing. It's not. It's gonna be handle army lost is what it's actually gonna be called. Here, we're just rename it this way. Handle army lost because the battle isn't necessarily lost. Then we're gonna have it pass in a new. Okay, so why can I do it this way without that? Is it? I wonder if it's because of this. With the plus equals thing, you have to put in the little thing and the other thing. You guys know what I'm talking about. Army, yep. And then we need to put in what it's called, which is army. And now why are you complaining? Because we have the wrong events in here. This is going to be army. There we go. And then we're going to copy this other one. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird to me, and it's because of lack of experience, I think. But it's weird to me that like you set up so many public classes and so many little things. Like every time you do anything, it's like just make a public class for that. Like that's it. Everything is that way, and it's kind of strange to me that you would have so many of them. But maybe that's just the way you do it, you know? Oh, we don't have a constructor. Right? I don't know. It just seems like there should be a different way to pass data around, but I guess that's just it. What was the thing? Alt insert. Make me a constructor. And I remember originally when I did that, when I started doing this, I was messing with a tuple. A tuple. And I was like, oh my God, this is, and I don't remember what game it was in, if it was this one or Hex Demon. I think it was probably Hex Demon. And I was like, this is strange and weird, and it makes it way more complicated. Um, oh, you're playing some Captain of Industry, huh? Dumping stuff into the ocean, dumping your trash in the ocean, which I thought was funny. I had some friends who were in the Navy, and I remember at one point they were talking about like their boots were all fucked up, and so they got new ones. And I was like, "What do you do with your old boots when you're on a Navy ship?" And they're like, "You throw it overboard." I was like, "What?" Like everything goes overboard on a Navy ship, which has probably changed. This was in the 90s. Okay, so we need to get this thing though. Burning for burning it for the Steam. They tried to do that where I grew up. I grew up in this place called Elfin Forest, and they kept saying there's a dump there, and they kept saying they wanted to do a trash to energy plant there, and it was like this thing that was always going to happen, and no one really wanted it to happen, because it would have big implications of clouds of burned trash smoke. And it just never happened, and they just kept. I think the dump is still there. I don't know. They might have paved it over and put houses on top of it. Elfin Forest Dump. The landfill. Los Angeles Times. 91. What is this shit? Get out of here. Elfin Forest homeowners wanted the county to purchase their properties near a proposed landfill. That landfill's been there since I was a boy. You know the story. You've heard these stories before about like forest porn. You know, like where the people find porn in the forest. We went over to that dump for some reason, just because of being kids. Like we rode our bikes over there or something, and there was like a security guard shack that was empty, and this is kind of like forest porn, and it was just filled with stacks of porn. Like the person just sat there and looked at magazines, Playboys and stuff all day long, because no one, the security job was they just waved everyone in. We also went spelunking out there too. When I was older, we told them we were on a school project, and they were just like, "Yeah, we don't care. Just go play in the dump. We don't care." All right, so let's put this new handler. When do I unsubscribe to these events? Let's put this new thing over on our battle control. And I already deleted it. So we go event bus publish new. What was this thing called? Army loss log. And we need to put in a faction name, which we have here. And we need to put in the county name, which we have. Battle location. The one problem with making these strings, though, is that you could put in the wrong thing. You could put in whatever, and it's a string, so it matches. Compared to how much oil the cruise liners leak nowadays, the ocean probably considers 90. Is that true? I want to if you have a UI element or something bound to the event. It is a UI element. It's but it never goes away until you exit the game. It's there forever. You can't make it go away. The player has no control over it. I mean, I'll probably want to put a hide button in there at some point. All right, so we have 2 of these now. We can do this, and we can do this. We can do that. And then I think that's the only saving and loading. Oh, because we'll have to resubscribe? No, on Ready, it should still subscribe to them, right? We can load right now. What's the downside? We just can't move. I got sidetracked. We gotta still save locations of things, of tokens. Let's start a new one. It doesn't unsubscribe. I don't think anywhere. There's no unsubscribing. No, there is. There is. I don't remember. There might be some unsubscribing. Um, let's just pass some time, and then let's load it. But we would need to. Let's do this. Let's save it. Let's close it. Let's run it again. So the new game will fire events on the same old event bus, and the old game events will still try to handle them. Well, that seems like a major problem. All right, let's see with um, that seems like a pretty serious complication. All right, let's do this. Let's declare war. Let's go over here. We haven't tested that one. Now we wait. Lost the battle. It didn't do anything different. We got 2 lost battles, actually. Lost an army. No, they're different. Has lost an army. Has lost a battle. That could actually kind of be one. Now that you know. It's seemed to have had no effect on it. So the new game will fire events on the same event bus, and the old game events will still try to handle them. Do you mean like if you're still running it? Aren't they decoupled? I think that word's silly. That's why I like saying it. It's ridiculous. All right, we gotta push some code here. So we got some basic events, which is not at all what I was gonna work on today, but that's how some things happen. Um, Event bus is a static class. It just floats around in the ether. Doesn't exist anywhere special. It's just one of those things. What do they call those things? Helper classes or something? It's just one of those things that just floats around somewhere. There's no instance to it. It's just static. Um, let's see here. Added an event bus and 2 events for battle logs. Not at all what I was planning on. Maybe I just don't want to do the capturing of a county. Maybe that's what's going on. Is I just don't want to do it. And that's why I keep avoiding it. And I also keep avoiding the saving of moving objects because we have to save where they're going. County capture event data. County capture event data. I don't have a county capture event data. Oh, that's what I need to create. I already have it written. I just need to put it back. It was commented out or something. I don't know what its problem is. And in fact, I uncommented at the beginning of this stream. We'll do one quick test. Maybe it's been working and I didn't I don't know actually what I did at the beginning of this too long ago. You can be spawned. You know, we need to. I don't think I even tested it though. We need a max button over here, by the way. That's been annoying me, kind of significantly. Run this at 16. You guys researched some storage while we were chilling? All right. What do we got? I don't see any recruited, so that should work. Speed down to 1. Pause it. Declare war. We want to win this war is the reason why we're doing it this way. Shoot them in the face. We have won the war, but then we got a bug. Oh, this happened before. Oh, because they're dead. I thought we fixed this. All right, we'll put this in as a note. This is where we were at, actually, when I got sidetracked with my events. Yeah, so this would only work if we killed the person. This would have only worked. Yeah, that's exactly where I was. And you know, I used to have an event for capturing a county, and I don't remember why I got rid of it. What issues it caused me. All right, let's put in this error though, so for next weekend, because I'm not gonna remember. Copy error. Then we'll raid somebody, I suppose. I've only been raiding 2 people lately: Critter and Crystal. I'm not feeling the meet new people vibe, you know. Let's for this see. We didn't even get started there. Error right before. What happened? Error when someone. I don't know. I don't think I know that person. Error when someone dies instead of error when an army is destroyed. Blank issue. Create. Move to top. Man, this just keeps getting longer and longer, and we're actually not even. See, we need to go back to here. I don't really think this is going to be that big of a deal, but for some reason I just don't want to do it. Because we'll have to save where they are. We'll have to spawn them. We'll have to set where they're moved. We'll have to do that for every county to. So I guess it's kind of annoying. Good to see that your OneDrive also is in random characters. I shouldn't have a OneDrive on this computer. No OneDrive on this computer. All right. Let's find somebody on. I use OneDrive at work all the time, and I use the online version now. Oh, that's probably from my work account though, because I am logged in to get the license for Word. I am logged in to my work stuff, and I do open some things through there, but I don't do OneDrive like on my computer because it's just a fucking bog fest of death. All right, let's see here. Let's find someone to raid. And is Crystal. I raided Critter yesterday. Man, this poor guy. I looked at him before. This one guy, he only had 1 viewer when I started this morning, and he still only has 1 viewer. I wonder why. I watched him for a little bit. Maybe we'll rate him. I'm following him. Maybe we won't rate anybody. Well, we won't rate anybody today. Well, let's call it a day. Thank you guys for joining me, and I will talk to you next weekend, most likely. Have a good